Glendale at State Farm Stadium. Today, we've got a good Week 5 matchup in store here between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Arizona Cardinals. First quarter of the season already in the rear-view mirror, and off we go in Week 5 on EA Sports.
This will be returned from deep in the end zone.
The shot penny on the return. The Eagles take over first and 10 at their own 26-yard line.
Got it, ready?
On the ground, it's Swift to start the drive. And he'll push his way forward to about the 32. The game's first play produces 6 yards, brings up second down. If you start assessing what went wrong last week, Charles, in their loss, had nothing to do with the ground game. They ran it well.
And you also have to say to yourself as a team, don't go away from what worked. That's not the reason the game was lost. Running the football over time, when you do it consistently, usually translates into wins.
And they're hoping to do it consistently here. On second down and 4. Hurts. He rifles one that's intercepted. Buda Baker with a pick. And the Cards are going to take possession of the football. It's no secret he's had trouble this year with interceptions, and this is a bad start for him. First drive, throwing another pick.
No matter who's broadcasting his game, that's how the conversation begins. Throwing too many interceptions. Can he take care of the football? If I were his backup, I'd be edging towards the coaches and saying, hey, how about giving me an opportunity?
The throw right side is complete here on the first play of the drive. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. It'll go as an impressive 31-yard gain.
But they didn't ease into that drive right out of the turnover. They go for the big shot downfield and hit it. A lot of teams have that opportunity, but not every coach is going to greenlight that type of a play call. I love their aggressiveness.
And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up second and goal. They fake the handoff. Now Murray. His pass caught at the 4. The catch good for 6 yards, but now it's third and goal. Out of the gun, here's Murray. A bullet throw, but incomplete. So they opted to pass for it on third and goal. Let's see what they do on fourth and goal.
Well, I think they threw it with the idea that if they didn't get it, they would go for it on fourth and goal. So they've got another play in their pocket. They're going to have to call it right now. No field goal here.
They're going for it. It's Murray. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had the play call on fourth and goal, but it's dropped in the end zone. And this Eagle defense stands tall down near the goal line. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And they've got to be breathing a little bit of a sigh of relief. The first time you throw the football winds up being picked. But fortunately for... There he goes, right side. He's at the 50. The 30. 10. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Rashad Penny, his third rushing touchdown on the year. And the Eagles will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon. Elliott good with a PAT. And that makes the score 7-0. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away.
Takes it at the 7.
Oh, a good return up past the 30.
And all in all, a pretty solid return. Nearly got it to the 35. They'll mark him down officially at the 34.
Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started. And last time, they had it 4th and goal, rolled the dice, didn't get it. Now they've got to put that behind them, try to put together another drive.
Hey, a simple tip of the cap, a nod of the head to the defense. Congratulations, you got us last time. But you didn't hold us the whole time. We got down to position. We were able to be in position to score. Let's go ahead and attack again. Continue to have that kind of confidence. Not worry about the one play that didn't allow him to get into the end zone.
Oh, he faked it with a juke. Now he's got some room. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49.
Murray to Moore, first down, Arizona.
And a good run here as he'll rumble all the way down to the 40-yard line. 11 more yards that go around, a first down as well. Snap comes to Murray at 1. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
The Cardinals had a disappointing 0-4 through the first month of the year. And they come into this one knowing it's been a while since they've had a W. They have dropped 4 in a row.
Let me tell you, when you go a month, partner, in this league, without a victory, it gets tough to come to work every day. And in addition, you start to wonder about your job security as well.
And he's going to be taken down at about the 33.
That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Dave's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first.
Play clock down to 5, and they're going to burn a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. They'll try to run for it with Cohen. Yeah, this is not going to be enough. Was in search of 2 yards and only got halfway there.
This team doesn't mind running the ball in any situation, and I thought he was going to get the first down the way the play developed, but the defense closed in and stopped him just about a yard short.
And now before they run this play on 4th and 1, we're going to get a break and a timeout. And that's their second charge timeout here in this first quarter. They're down to 1 remaining. Eagles going to signal for a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Murray sets to throw on 4th. And this is caught. He hits more.
And he'll be marked down at about the 26-yard line.
They only needed that 1 yard going for it on 4th. I got to be honest. I thought they were going to stay on the ground. They surprised me. Did they surprise you?
I'm with you on that one. I thought they'd find a way to create some type of a power run and try and pick up the first down. But they decided to keep the ball in the hands of the guy who could throw it, and it paid off.
Yeah, the decision paid off indeed.
Go check! Go check! Big Lion! Go!
And he's going to take this one down to about the 23-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you've got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean or else they'll just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
Ball at the 23, second and 8. Murray going to fire one out wide. And he'll be marked down right at the 15-yard line.
There, they just keep marching right along. First down on a pickup of 8 there. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports.
Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. That flag accepted, and it backs the offense up a little bit.
The delay of game backs him up 5, 1st and 15. They'll try the counter here. Cohen. And he's only going to get a yard from the 20 to the 19.
Sometimes you're aligned perfectly and the play comes to you, and sometimes you got to cover some ground to go make the play, as we just saw there.
We saw a great example of perseverance right there on that play.
Got to be careful. They might want to throw one over his head as this game progresses.
Throwing on 2nd and 14. Murray. Touchdown! Marquise Brown. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Cardinals are an extra point away now from tying this ball game. Well executed there offensively. Defense looked a little confused, but he found his receiver, and that one good for 6 points.
And the payoff we just saw there tells us how many times they ran this play in practice over the past few weeks, because they executed that flawlessly right here on game day when the situation arose.
So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive.
Well, partner, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to duplicate that success here. And it's rare for those moments to happen. Incredible when they do. And you saw the celebration. Pure, unbridled joy after that one. And some good acceleration there as he's across midfield to the 48-yard line.
12 yards is the pickup. Good for an Eagle first down. A CD a lot of times like to separate speed and quickness, and they've got a back that's both. We know that he's fast in the open field, but, man, his first step is so quick, too.
It is something, isn't it? Because you think of that type of speed getting to the perimeter and turning upfield, but also when you run those inside runs, he can get into the secondary so fast the linebackers don't have a chance to react.
It was Jadeveon Clowney who got upfield for the stop. Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw.
They'll try and set up the screen to Swift.
Oh, that's just not fair, and now room to run. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. So the pitch and catch good for 11. And that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot.
Here we go, here we go. Press on 80. Drop 60, drop 60.
Here's Hurts to throw. And they're going to get this down to about the 37. With nowhere to throw it, decided to scramble, and a nice job, CD. Got the yardage that he needed.
Yeah, and his teammates are certainly going to appreciate that effort, even if his coaches don't, because they would have wanted him to slide and protect himself. But he chose team gain over personal protection.
On 1st and 10, it's Swift.
Nothing doing. Barely able to muster a yard to hit the 35. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Play action. Here's Hurts on the move to his left. And he'll cross over out of bounds right at the 25.
Hurts dangerous when he runs that football. He's got a first.
I don't think that run was anything that was designed, but when his reads were blanketed as he went through his progressions, all that was left was for him to run and try and pick it up himself.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Here we go, track. Hey, check that, street.
Right back to Swift again on 2nd down.
And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. That's good for 21 yards and a first down. He was trying to dance in around the sideline, but fell just a couple of yards short. Still, he's got him in great position.
He certainly does. They did a nice job keeping him from getting into the end zone, but they're definitely back on their heels after that run.
Swift trying to get to the goal line, but he's going to be stopped just short at the 1.
Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal.
All of a sudden, those lanes that were there earlier in the drive dry up near the goal line. That's a good job defensively to diagnose the run and stop it for a very short pickup.
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football.
Okay, ready?
Another shot from the 1 on 2nd and goal.
They'll run with Swift.
And he's in for an Eagles touchdown.
DeAndre Swift
punching it in from a yard away as his guys are able to extend their lead. And his kick is no good. Misses the PAT, a mistake there, and this remains a 7-point game. Back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss.
This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line.
Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense.
As this offense comes back out here, Charles, they're trailing in this ball game, and they've been on the sideline for a while. They did score their last time out, but they just had to watch that long, sustained drive, so we'll see if they can shake the rust off.
Yeah, and that's always a question that you have when you have to come off the bench after having sat there for a long time. Are you ready to go? Are you loosened up? But even more so, are you mentally alert and ready to put your best product out there?
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
They've been playing sound fundamental defense thus far and able to keep this offense from creating a major dent on the scoreboard.
Able to force the incompletion, but still waiting for that game-changing play. You feel like it's coming, the first sack, the first turnover.
In a sense, they're playing old-school defense right now. The new-school defense is what you said, taking the ball away.
27 yards there, first down. Here's Murray. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Cohen. And he'll be brought down at the 27. 2nd and 5.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it can turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. And they'll burn the timeout with 5 seconds left. A chance to try to add 3 points before heading to the locker room. Now with 5 seconds left, not really enough time to run another play and then stop it. So on comes the field goal unit. From the right hash, this from an even 40 yards out. Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. So we've reached halftime here, and it's our visitors, the Eagles, leading this one. As we send you on out to our studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman at REA Sports Halftime Report. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here. It'll be the Cardinals who get the ball first. They trail here as we resume action in the 3rd quarter. And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started.
Charles, it'll be interesting to see what adjustments this offense made in the locker room. Haven't really been able to get any.
And now off to the races, down the right side. Touchdown, Cardinals.
For as big and strong as some of these guys are, especially when you see them in full pads, it is sometimes hard to appreciate how truly fast they can move. That was incredible.
And that's the kind of play where you have to kind of catch your breath afterwards. So just give me a second here, because when he shifted into high gear, he was an absolute blur out there. No substitute for speed. We talk about that all the time. The evidence was right there.
And the top speed maintained, according to next-gen stats, 21.3 miles per hour. From deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line.
The Eagles take over first and 10 at their own 17-yard line.
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. After that last touchdown we just saw, Charles, we got ourselves a brand-new ball game, all tied here in the 3rd as they have their first possession of this 2nd half.
And, Brandon, this drive is all about one word to me, and that's the word answer, because they're trying to answer the momentum the other offense picked up in tying the game, because not only if they score and they feel better about themselves, they'll retake the lead and maybe set the tone for the rest of the half, keeping them in the driver's seat. Oh, they'll certainly be on the tablets going over that one for sure. Clearly, they were expecting something else out of the defense and couldn't adjust to make that completion happen.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Hurts sets up to throw it. Over the middle, he's got Watkins.
And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. It'll be a gain of 16 for number 16.
But one of the ways the quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 52 yards rushing for him now on what was his 10th carry of the ball game. A pair of first downs gives him a 1st and 10 up at the 44. Once again, it's Swift. And good vision there as he's across midfield and down to the 45-yard line. 11 more on that one and another first down. Consecutive plays now where that offensive line has really created a lot of space.
And we've seen the confidence rise, haven't we? It borders on arrogance now, and that's that good arrogance, believing you can run the football whenever you get good and ready.
And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. They go play action with Hurts. He'll buy some time right. Looking here for Smith downfield. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
They've been trying and trying, but they haven't sacked him yet. He's been able to get away and make plays. Tried to make another one downfield right there, but to no avail. They'll have to keep up the pursuit, though, and not let him get hot.
Throwing is Hurts. Looking for Watkins, and it's intercepted. And the Cardinals are going to have it here at their own 32-yard line. If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are, positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way.
Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. Offense running back out here, and you remember last drive was pretty quick, about 10 seconds, Charles. One play, very long pass play that ended in the end zone.
And you know every offensive unit, when that happens, they want to come running back out and recreate it. We know the chances of that are slim because now the defense is on high alert. But at the same time, that confidence should carry over into the start of their next drive.
They go quickly here out to Moore. And the tackle going to be made at the 38. Only needing 2 yards on 2nd down. Out of the gun, running with Cohen. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
Not too many more ideal situations in 2nd and 2 in order to try and pick up a first down. They ran it and picked it up.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11. To the right side, and he's got more complete. And down right around the 32-yard line, 4 yards on the pickup.
It's a gain of 4. Brings up
Got to get to the 26 for a first. This is third down. Shotgun now for Murray. And that is incomplete. Fourth down now looming after Philly's defense stands tall in coverage.
Well, that's a defense coordinator's got to be happy with that result. They took away all options downfield and forced the incompletion.
And with the play clock winding down. Timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. Murray and company going for it on fourth. That's to his running back, complete. And he is going to have the Cardinals first down as they manage to convert, and that'll keep the drive alive. To throw is Murray. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Murray now. The screen pass here to Cohen. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
Boy, that was certainly well-read defensively. And the key to any screenplay is space to work. And there was none to be found there. And they tackle him for just a short gain.
Behind the sticks here with a 2nd and 15. Murray to air it out again. And this one is going to be off the mark, too far out in front.
Well, partner, guaranteed they approach this play with the idea of making up ground to make 3rd down manageable. Unfortunately, with that incompletion, right back where they started on the last snap. Now they need a big 3rd down play in order to pick up the yardage needed.
Incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Now with a play clock at 4, we're going to get a timeout called. And that's going to leave them with just one timeout remaining still in the third quarter. We'll see if that comes back to haunt them. We'll be back.
A tall task ahead of him here, needing a full 15 yards to move the chains.
Now on third and long, they'll look to throw. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38.
That sack courtesy of the effort of Hassan Reddick.
And the attempt at 3 will have to come from the other end of the field as time has run out on this third quarter.
This is the National Football League on EA Sports.
So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. This to break our fourth quarter time. And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt. And they have taken the lead here in the fourth quarter. So a good kick that time, and that might help to get the negative thoughts out of the mind from that earlier block.
Especially since this was not a chippy, so he had to get that one out kind of low. But his line does a nice job of protecting, and he's able to convert for 3.
Prater now will send it away following the made field goal.
And it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt to return.
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive.
And now they find themselves trailing following the field goal. Still a good amount of time in this fourth quarter, but this drive very well could determine the outcome of this ball game.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's second and 12.
Packer 60, Packer 11, Packer 11. Mustang 19. Ready.
Hurts.
And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Buda Baker with a pick.
And the Cards are going to take possession of the football. And that's now a half dozen interceptions for him over the last 2 games. Cassidy, remember, he threw 3 in the last ball game and now 3 more here.
And the way that you present it, partner, I'm not sure what sounds worse, right? Half a dozen over the last 2 games or 3 the last game, 3 this game. Either way, it's way too many. And that's something they'll have to work on, hoping to get through the rest of this game without having to address it again.
Swim.
First down, a run with Cohen. Down to the 42, second down.
I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
Following the pickup of 4, here's second and 6. Again, it's Cohen. And he'll take it inside the 40 to the 39-yard line.
Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
The Cardinals on third down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 3. Murray going to throw.
Swings this out here for Cohen.
And he is going to have a Cardinals first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. What a difference a week makes. 5 interceptions in their last game. Here we are, 4th quarter. He's played mistake-free football.
And I'm sure that we can look back on the past week and say, okay, he spent time in the film room and they worked out his mechanics. Sometimes it's just your team believing in you, your coaching staff believing in you, and you relax and play to your potential. And he's doing that in this game.
And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line.
This defense not fooled one bit on that touch pass.
And this has become one of those kind of in vogue plays, you know, kind of like the shuffle pass was a few years ago. This one never got off the ground, but you understand why a lot of teams are running it. These wide receivers, a lot of them, they run like running backs with the ball in their hands.
Throwing on 2nd and 14. Murray. Over the middle, complete. It's Hopkins.
And he's brought down here just outside of the 20. And that catch, he just hit number 800 in his NFL career.
And just think, that puts you in top 35 range all time in the NFL in terms of number of catches. One significant guy in that number, Shannon Sharp, who was a tight end. That's big-time play right there.
Here we go, 3rd and 1. Gut check time on both sides. Now a whistle, and I think a penalty here for a delay. No, they're going to say timeout. They did get the timeout in time. So that will leave them with no timeouts left. Still plenty of time on the clock. We'll see how that affects things here in this 4th quarter. Murray to throw on 3rd and 1. Out to his left. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. It's a gain of 8, and it'll wind up moving the chains. That is an absolute backbreaker. That was a design passing play, wasn't a draw. You think you got him stopped, good coverage downfield, and he's able to pick up the first with his legs. Defensively, that kicks into your psyche and hurts a little bit, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and here's the thing. Anytime you give up a first down, it hurts you psychologically, but it hurts more when they get it this way because you've covered everything. He didn't have any place to throw the football. He takes off running and picks it up anyway, and now you have to stay on the field for an extra set of downs.
And really could have used that stop trailing here in the 4th. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down.
So with your team leading in the 4th quarter, you know you've got to run the football. They know you've got to run the football. Sometimes that means there's nowhere to run the football.
3 points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the 4th. Second and long, but you got to figure this almost certainly another run. Here's Murray, a quick throw complete. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ballgame.
They threw the screen to the perimeter, but to no benefit at all. Tackle behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of yardage.
This is a big 3rd down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here. Touchdown, Cardinals!
Rondale Moore
with his second touchdown of the afternoon.
And the Cardinals get an important score there to extend their lead here in this fourth quarter. What a huge touchdown that was, obviously, here in the late stages of the fourth quarter as they try to put this one away.
And, Brandon, when they watch the film after this week, they'll be very proud of every rep if they close this game out. Just a few snaps remaining. They can't relax just yet.
Extra point good by Prater. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick.
This is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone.
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to...
And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by Jason Verrett.
And the Cardinals are going to have it here just past the 25.
Keep in mind, he had the 3-interception game last week, so we requested to talk with him this week. He was all smiles. He's still all smile.
Yeah, we didn't jinx him at all, did we?
No.
Because ordinarily that happens. Things fall off, but not in this case. I think a lot of it goes back to his technique. His ability to see the quarterback throw the ball while understanding where the receiver is running his route allows him to make a lot of plays on the football, and he's taking it away at a really high rate.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. Once again, they'll come up on the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10. Back to throw, Murray.
All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted.
Darius Slay with a pick.
And the Eagles are going to take over a couple of yards shy of midfield.
2-score game here in the fourth, and that pick, it kind of keeps the door ajar, doesn't it?
It does, and you wonder about their strategy because with a 2-score lead, you would think maybe you're just sitting on it trying to drain some clock. It's almost like they felt like, hey, we've got a good cushion. We can keep pressing it. It ended up costing them.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Throwing from the gun, it's Hurts. He'll find Swift out of the backfield.
And he's going to be taken down right at the line.
Off the play fake, here's Hurts.
And he will not make it back to the line of scrimmage as he's going to be taken down.
So after that sack, Hurts and the Eagles, tough spot here, 3rd and long.
Now the Eagles will use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in the game.
The offense knew it. They were already starting to walk back as that one is accepted. So they accept the penalty, of course, and push the offense backwards a bit. After the delay, they're backed up even further for 3rd and long. From the gun, it's Hurts.
He's going to float this over the middle deep. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
When you're leading in the final quarter, your radar has to be up for any potential deep shots. And probably not the last one they're going to see in this game, not as long as they hold this lead.
They're going on 4th down with Hurts.
He'll fire a desperation throw for the end zone. And this is intercepted, and that should do it.
And the Cards are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line.
I think you and I were a little surprised back earlier in the game when he threw his 2nd interception. I mean, who would have thought a quarterback of his caliber picked now 5 times?
It's beyond stunning to me because we're used to that with maybe a quarterback with less experience or less talent. But a quarterback of his caliber, I can't believe what we've just seen.
Absolutely. If you would have told me this coming into the ball game, I would have said never, not in a million years. But here we go. To throw is Murray. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the offense will get this one back. Boy, that could have been catastrophic at this late stage of the game, but they avoid disaster.
Well, that second half, Charles, a little bit different from the first. Not only did we have the lead change after intermission, but they were able to pitch the shutout in the second half and get an impressive victory.
And what's the old expression? That's not quite how I saw it playing out in my head. You know they didn't expect this at all. As you mentioned, went into the half with the lead. Losing the game is one thing. Getting shut out in the second half, that's a surprise.
So for Arizona, it took a while, but they finally get that first win after 4 straight losses. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Seattle Seahawks. Meanwhile, for Philadelphia, things aren't looking good. It'll be an 0-5 start, and they will get a home date next week as they will take on the Dallas Cowboys.